Stand by. Roll film. Cue Bailey.
Hi, I'm Bailey Goss.
And I'm Chuck Thompson.
We'd like you to join us for a review of the highlights of the 1961 Baltimore Colts season.
Well, the Colts finished in a tie for third place. After a so-so start, they came on strong to win 4 of their last 5 games and earn a respectable 8-6 record.
The season opened at home in Memorial Stadium with the Los Angeles Rams.
The Baltimore Colts, in search of their 3rd professional football title, are ready and waiting for the invaders from the West Coast, and a full house of loyal fans is on hand to cheer them on. The Rams get on the scoreboard first with a 24-yard field goal, and the Colts counter with Lenny Moore. Lenny turns the corner and bolts by the Rams to go 38 yards for a touchdown. And the Colts lead 7-3. The Rams have a rugged runner of their own in Tommy Wilson. A spot of daylight is all Tommy needs to make his way downfield for 34 yards before Bobby Boyd and Don Shinnick can bring him down. Zeke Bratkowski drops back to pass, but suddenly changes his mind. He catches the defense going the other way and makes it across for the score. The Rams lead after 1 quarter, 10-7. In the second period, it's the Colts on the move as Unitas rolls to his left. John decides to keep going, and he gets to the Ram 2 before he's tripped up by Lyndon Crow and Lovetier. A penalty slows the Colt march, but Steve Myra makes it pay off for 3 points. The 22-yard placement evens the count at 10-all. Zeke Bratkowski, the ex-Bear, is turning out to be a red-hot Ram. Zeke pegs on target to Carroll Dale, and the Rams regain the lead on the 52-yard play. It's 17-10. Late in the second quarter, the Rams are in Colt territory again, and the slow-motion camera captures the precise beauty of a pro play. Zeke Bratkowski spots his man and throws. Rookie Dwayne Allen makes a perfect catch and legs it across. It's the Rams 24, Colts 10, with 2.5 minutes remaining in the half. That's enough time for the Colts. It's a double reverse. Unitas to Matty to Moore, and Lenny gallops to the Ram 33. A piling on penalty puts the ball on the Los Angeles 19. Two more penalties make it goal to go, and with 3 seconds left, Unitas tosses to Lenny Moore. The Ram lead is shortened to 24-17 as the teams head for the dressing rooms. Baltimore gets a break in the third quarter. Tom Wilson fumbles, and Gino Marchetti recovers for the Colts on the Ram 20. Johnny Unitas takes personal charge of the scoring mission as he ducks through the line at left tackle and romps into the end zone. The conversion ties it up again at 24-24. On the final play of the third period, Joe Perry moves the Colts into Ram territory with a 12-yard blast up the middle. The Rams make a valiant stand, but they can't stop Steve Myra. Steve's 39-yard field goal gives Baltimore a 27-24 margin, and the Colts stave off 2 Ram threats until the end of the game and open the 1961 season with a victory.
Another highlight in the Colts' 61 season was their rematch with the title-hungry Detroit Lions in the Motor City.
The Colts lost a squeaker by 1 point to the Lions earlier in the season and now move into the Lions' den with revenge on their minds. After a scoreless first quarter, the Colts attack as John Unitas fires complete to Raymond Berry at the Baltimore 46. Unitas fades deep looking for a receiver and then passes short to Lenny Moore. And Moore sidesteps the lunging Lions and goes for 17 yards. Lenny Moore cuts inside his blockers and skips through the middle. Lightning Lenny gets to the Detroit 17 before Gary Lowe can haul him down. Unitas and Raymond Berry execute the sideline pass to perfection for a first down inside the 10. Lenny Moore hits straight ahead and shakes loose from Joe Schmidt's grasp and spins into pay dirt, and the Colts take a 7-0 lead at halftime. The Lions roar back in the third period. Jim Nanowski hits Nick Petrosati on a swing pass, good for 5 yards. Nanowski spots an opening in the Colts secondary. Jim drops back and throws perfectly to Gale Cogdill. Cogdill races home for a 45-yard touchdown, and the Lions even the count at 7-0. The Lions drive for another score late in the third quarter. Nanowski connects with Jim Gibbons for 15 yards. Nanowski backs off, fakes a pass into the flat, and then lobs over the middle to Gale Cogdill. And Cogdill trots in for his second touchdown in 5 minutes, and the Lions take the lead 14-7. The Colts strike back with John Unitas, passing to Raymond Berry on a deep breakout at the Lion 31. Baltimore blockers Parker Sandusky and Alex Hawkins give their quarterback plenty of time. Unitas takes advantage of it to pinpoint Lenny Moore on the Detroit 4-yard line as the third period ends. Now in slow motion on fourth down, the Colts go for the equalizer. Lenny Moore lowers his head and drives off left tackle, and the Lions can't stop Lenny, and it's a tie ball game at 14-all. After a Lion field goal attempt goes astray, the Colts return with Unitas flipping over the middle to Joe Perry, and the Jet rips for 25 yards to the Colt 40. Unitas recovers from an 11-yard loss by firing to Raymond Berry at the Colt 49, and there are 2 minutes to play. Detroit's angry Lions stalk Unitas with fire in their eyes. John keeps his balance and spots Joe Perry, and Joe fights for every inch of Lion ground. 30 seconds remain as Unitas sets up to pass. Big Roger Brown breaks through to drop John for a 6-yard loss at the 38. With 8 seconds showing on the clock, Steve Myra attempts a field goal from the 45-yard line. Myra's kick is perfect, and the Colts turn the tables on Detroit 17-14. The Chicago Bears, fresh from their win over the 49ers, are the opposition as the Baltimore Colts trot out before a full house at Memorial Stadium, determined to better their 3-3 record and stay in contention for Western Conference honors. Johnny Unitas and Lenny Moore are the key men in the Colt corral, and they prove it right here. Lenny takes Unitas' pass and races all the way to the Bear 29 before Richie Pettibone can cut him down. Unitas scampers back and pegs a swing pass to his veteran fullback Joe Perry. Perry leaves 4 Bears behind as he thunders 21 yards to score. Hey, Joe, how about doing that again for the folks? And now watch Joe Perry as the Bears close in. And pull that film right there. How's that for balance? Thank you very much, Joe. Now Unitas and Moore are at it again in the second quarter. Lenny latches onto a quick look-in pass, and he's gone. The 68-yard touchdown play puts the Bears 14 points down with less than 2 minutes gone in the second period. But the Bears are battling for sole possession of second place in the West. They send Rick Caceres rocketing over the middle for 21 yards. Billy Wade looks for a receiver, but the Colt pass defense has everyone covered. So Wade switches from pass to run, and run he does for 24 yards before Andy Nelson nudges him out of bounds. Wade rolls out to the right, and as the defense comes up to stop him, he passes to Mike Ditka on the sideline. The Chicago rookie goes in for the touchdown, and at halftime, it's Colts 14, Bears 7. On the second play of the third quarter, Wade is trying to pass the Bears out of their own territory, but Bill Pellington intercepts and returns the Chicago 12. Lenny Moore puts the Colts into a full gallop as he makes his way through the Bears on a beautiful run to the 3-yard line. And then Alex Hawkins slashes into the end zone for the touchdown. The conversion is blocked, but Baltimore's lead looks good at 20-7. But the Bears catch the Colts napping as they go for the touchdown on a 4th and 2 situation. Morris is wide open behind 2 Colt defenders, and he romps over for a 41-yard touchdown, and things are tense as the score reads Colts 20, Bears 14. Midway in the final period, the Bears get their break on a short punt, and John Farrington takes a Billy Wade pass to the Baltimore 10. When yards are tough, the ball goes to Rick Caceres. Rugged Rick rams into pay dirt on a 5-yard charge. The game is tied at 20 points apiece, and the outcome hinges on the conversion attempt. Roger LeClaire boots it home, and the Bears take a precarious 21-20 lead over the Baltimore Colts. The Colts are noted for their final second comebacks and give the Bears a battle in the waning moments, but the Bears apply the blitz. And Harlan Hill hijacks Unitas' pass to stop the Colts. In a game with no field goals, the foot still made the difference as Chicago wins 21-20.
Well, that certainly was a tough one to lose. But the Colts waited just a week to make the fans forget all about that one. The defending champion Green Bay Packers came to town, riding high, in first place, with a record of 6 wins and 1 loss. But let's not keep the folks waiting, Chuck. Bring on the Packers.
Paul Hornung kicks off for the Green Bay Packers. Lenny Lyles takes it on the 2, and the speedy Colt gets the Steeds off to a great start as he blazes upfield for 64 yards before he's hauled down by Herb Adderley. The Colts get close, and Joe Perry gets them a touchdown as he rams his way in for the score. Steve Myra converts, and the Colts are off to a 7-0 lead. The Packers storm back. Rugged fullback Jim Taylor rocks through the Colts for a 21-yard gain. Bart Starr fakes, rolls out to his right, and Starr fakes a pass, then keeps on a 21-yard excursion that ends up in touchdown land. The Packers pull even at 7-all after 1 period of play. The Colts march in the second period. With help from Palmer Pyle, Joe Perry squirms through for 8 yards. John Unitas, having his best game of the year, fires a touchdown strike to Alex Hawkins, and the Colts climb back on top 14-7. The Packers spring Jim Taylor loose up the middle, and the quick-hitting Taylor adds 36 yards with this burst to the Colt 39. Bart Starr fakes to Taylor, then gives off to Paul Hornung. Hornung has his eye on 6 points as he crashes in for the touchdown. Paul adds the conversion, and it's a new ball game at 14-14. Colt leader John Unitas lobs to his flanker, Lenny Moore, the most elusive runner in the league. Moore gets away from 3 Packers at the sideline, skips loose from 2 desperation tackle attempts, and scores. Lenny's great effort puts the Colts on top 21-14 at the half. The Colts add a field goal to start the third period and lead 24-14 as Joe Perry jets up the middle for 14 yards. And now in slow motion, watch the perfect execution as Unitas fires a sideline pass to Jimmy Orr. Orr turns it into a touchdown. The Colts take a 31-14 advantage after 3 quarters, and Colt fans go wild. In the 4th period, the Colts drive again as Unitas pinpoints D. Mackey. Once more in slow motion, on 4th down, the Colts go for the touchdown. And they get it on this Unitas to Jimmy Orr pass. Orr's second touchdown makes it 38-14. The bewildered Packers are forced to punt. Boyd Dowler's high boot is taken by Bobby Boyd. Boyd races by the Colt bench, cuts back nicely, and returns 46 yards to the Green Bay 15. On 1st down, Joe Perry streaks through the Packers for 15 yards and a touchdown. The Colts pile up a 45-14 lead. Green Bay scored in the final minutes, but the Colts win 45-21 over the world champion Packers.
We can't let that game go by without taking a stop-motion look at that sensational Lenny Moore run.
Fellas, would you run that play again and stop him so that we can see all of those great moves?
That's about the only way you can stop Lenny on film.
Unitas back to pass finds Moore in the flat, and we're going to stop the camera as Lenny puts the move on Greminger. Mackey bulldozes Simak, and now the Moore version of the twist eliminates Bettis, Wood, and Curry. Packer number 6 is Hog Hanner. It's Jordan's turn. And there ain't no more.
The Colts won and lost their share of squeakers during the '61 season. And the game with the 49ers in Baltimore was about as tight as they make them.
The Baltimore Colts and the San Francisco 49ers have been involved in some wild games in the past, and they're at it again. The 49ers are tied with Detroit for 2nd place in the West, but Baltimore aims to knock them right out of there. Colts are on the gallop in the 1st quarter. Unitas rolls out and throws a swing pass to Joe Perry. And behind beautiful blocks by George Prees and Dick Szymanski, Joe the Jet jars the 49ers with a brilliant run that makes it goal to go on the San Francisco 6. Alex Hawkins cuts back at right tackle and slants over for the score. The Colt defense is airtight and Baltimore leads 7-0 at the end of the 1st quarter. 49ers get their attack rolling in the 2nd period. John Brody spies an opening and bursts through the line. Brody's rush takes him 29 yards before the Colts can finally stop him. Baltimore braces, and San Francisco goes for 3 points with Tommy Davis kicking. It's good, and the Colt lead is narrowed 7-3. Brody is stirring up more trouble for Baltimore later in the period. He steps forward and pitches to Bernie Casey on the hook pattern. Casey spins and drives to the Colt 15. Brody is throwing for 6 this time. Gary Glick goes up, but barely gets a hand on the ball, and Monty Stickle grabs it. The 49ers lead 10-7 with 33 seconds left in the 1st half. The Colts Unitas is a genius at coming up with a big play in the clutch situation, and he does it here. Lenny Moore's contribution is just as big. Lenny lopes to a 43-yard gain as the seconds tick away. On the final play of the half, Steve Myra boots a 32-yard field goal, and the game is tied at 10-10. The 3rd quarter is a standoff, but the 49ers have something going on the last play. Brody ducks away from the Colt defenders and passes to Bernie Casey at the 4 to make it goal to go. J.D. Smith opens the final session by smashing over from the 2. The 49ers are aiming to hold on to 2nd place in the West with a 17-10 lead. Now in slow motion, the Colts won't stop for anything but the final gun. Alex Hawkins gets loose and sprints right down the middle for a big 39-yard gain. Baltimore is just 7 yards away from the tying touchdown. But the 49ers push them back 9 yards and 3 downs, and it's up to Steve Myra, and his field goal makes it a little closer at 17-13. With only a minute left, the Colts need a big play to pull this one out. Can Unitas find it for them? He sends up a long pass, and Jimmy Orr makes a sensational juggling catch to win the game 20-17. Well, Bailey, let's ask Jimmy Orr to go back and do that one again, only this time in slow motion. Here we go again. Now watch Unitas as he fades back to throw. Fakes out into the flat, and now straightens up and fires deep downfield for Jimmy Orr. And now keep your eye on the ball. He's got it.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has.
No, he hasn't.
He has, and what a catch. The Baltimore Colts, looking for their 8th win, invade Kezar Stadium for the final game of the season. The 49ers can gain a tie for second place and a spot on the playoff bowl if they win. Colts mean business from the start. On the first play from scrimmage, John Unitas passes far upfield to Jimmy Orr. Dave Baker finally catches Jimmy after a 64-yard gain. The Colts lose their momentum, but Steve Myra is ready. Steve boots a three-pointer from the 20, and the Colts edge ahead 3-0. The 49ers fight back as Brody rifles one to Aaron Thomas on the hook pattern. Brody is anxious to throw for a score. R.C. Owens is free, and Brody drops it in his hands. The Prospectors add a field goal, and it's 10-3 49ers after one period. The Colts are off and running in the second stanza. Mark Smolinski fights for 11 yards up the middle. On 1 foot, Mark gains an extra couple of yards. Unitas goes back to pass. He spots his rookie fullback, who's having a sensational day, and Smolinski gathers in the pigskin for 6 more Colt points. It's a new ball game at 10-all. With Unitas looking like the master that he is, the Colts strike again. Jimmy Orr takes this pass for a first down in 49er territory. Szymanski, Sandusky, Prees, and Parker keep the 49ers out of Unitas' backyard, and he takes advantage of it as he lofts a touchdown toss to Jimmy Mutchler, making the score 17-10. And before the half is over, the Colts add a field goal to lead 20-10. The Prospectors come storming back in the third quarter. Brody passes over the middle to Big Monty Stickles. Brody then shows off his running ability. John rolls in for the tally, and the 49ers are just 3 points shy at 20-17. The Colts just won't let up. Unitas is perfect to Raymond Berry. Berry makes a spectacular one-handed catch. Would you look at that? And in spite of interference by Abe Woodson. The Colts go for the big one just 2 plays later. Unitas has all day to connect with Jimmy Orr in the end zone, and the Colts have a 27-17 lead going into the final period. The 49ers really want this one, and they aim to get it. Brody passes, and Monty Stickles makes a great catch. Brody fakes to J.D. Smith, then throws the look-in to R.C. Owens. Owens goes in, and the 49ers trail by only 3, 27-24. The 49ers go for the win with less than 2 minutes to play. Brody gets off a bomb to Stickles. Monty almost gets away, but Bobby Boyd and Andy Nelson haul him down on the Colt 36. There's less than 1 minute now as Brody takes his time. Don't rush, John. The cable car will be along any time now. R.C. Owens finally gets open, and Brody hits him. Owens tries his best to get away, but he's down at the 20-yard line. There are just 17 seconds left in the ball game as Brody looks for Owens once again. R.C. makes his alley-oop leap, but Harrison and Welsh oop higher and bat the ball down. The Colts hold on to win one of the most exciting games of the year, 27-24.
You know, Chuck, there were plenty of other exciting plays that occurred in Colt games this year.
There sure were, Bailey, and I think one of the greatest was that fake punt play out at Los Angeles.
Well, the television camera missed that one, but we've got it on film.
Say no more, Bailey. It was 4th and 7 on the Colt 40. The Rams couldn't see anything but a Colt punt, and they certainly didn't see halfback Jimmy Welsh. You will as we stop the camera. Look at that boy go.
And Jim sure makes a good maneuver on John Arnett.
In that same game, Bailey, one of the top fullbacks of all time in the National Football League, Joe Perry gave it his all on this next play. Watch as number 62, Palmer Pyle, and number 68, Alex Sandusky, pull out and take care of Bob Long and Clendon Thomas.
Joe uses a little of his own razzle-dazzle on Charlie Brett and Urban Henry, but unfortunately pulls up lame and is out of action for the rest of the season. Against the Lions, Gino the Giant unloads on quarterback Jim Nanowski for a safety and 2 points.
The Colts invaded Green Bay. Unitas is trapped in the end zone, and John heaves long to Raymond Berry. He's got it. Unbelievable. He rolls and then starts up again, only to be brought down by Jesse Whitten.
And when the Packers came to Baltimore, this play by Billy Ray Smith will never be forgotten. Jackie Burkett blocks a Bart Starr pass. Smith moves in to try to intercept. He misses it, but watch this. Go, Billy, go.
Against the Redskins, Jimmy Munchler shows his top form as he takes a Johnny Unitas pop pass and 3 Redskins with him to score.
In the same game, this great all-alone run by Lenny Moore. After a handoff from John Unitas, Lenny goes by 6 Redskins to score. What a run.
Colt touchdowns were far from the whole story of the '61 season. The Colt defensive team played sensational ball in just about every game and won the distinction of having given up the least amount of yards in the National Football League.
And what better way to say thanks to these great guys than by showing them in action?
That fine defensive secondary of Bobby Harrison, Andy Nelson, Gary Glick, Bobby Boyd, and Jimmy Welsh.
And here they are in action. Opening day against the Rams. Ryan goes back to pass. Bobby Harrison spots the play and comes up from his safety position to take it from the intended receiver. Now watch this fine downfield blocking by Bob Boyd and Steve Myra.
Here's Andy Nelson blocking Danny Villanueva's field goal against the Rams, and we're going to stop the camera to show you once again the hand is quicker than the foot.
On this play, Gary Glick tied a club record for interceptions. 3 in one game, set by Burt Rechichar and Tom Keene in 1953, as he intercepts a Norm Snead aerial against his old teammates, the Redskins.
Not to be outdone, here's Bobby Boyd running back a Green Bay punt for 46 yards, which helped him end the season in 7th place in that department in the National Football League.
To round out the defensive backfield, Here are Jimmy Welsh and Bobby Harrison combining to un-alley-oop R.C. Owens and win the game against the 49ers on the coast.
And here are those rugged Colt linebackers, Don Shinnick, Bill Pellington, Jackie Burkett, and Marv Matuzak.
And what a job these boys did in 1961.
You can say that again, Bailey. Here's Don Shinnick in action against the 49ers. Brody goes back to pass, and Shinnick blasts through, grabs his arm, and yanks him to the turf for a big loss.
Chuck, will you ever forget this play by Bill Pellington? Bratkowski of the Rams no sooner gets the ball, and Pellington is all over him. Zeke is more flat-out-ski than Bratkowski.
On this next play, we see a fine interception by Jackie Burkett. Here he is, picking off a Brody pass in the 49er game and running it back 25 yards before being brought down by a host of 49er tacklers.
And Chuck, how about this fine blitz by Marv Matuzak in the Rams game?
And now for the big guns up front, Ordell Bracey, Billy Ray Smith, and Jim Colvin.
And here they come in slow motion. Ordell Bracey putting on the rush in the 49ers game. Look at that recovery. And just like the Canadian Mounties, he always gets his man.
Here's that fine Southern gentleman from the state of Arkansas, Billy Ray Smith, rolling out from his right tackle position to pull down Sam Echeverry of the Cardinals.
Chuck, here's Smith again, teaming up with Jim Colvin against the 49ers to bring down John Brody. You know, I don't think that Brody knew what hit him.
That's not the end of our tribute to our defensive team for 1961. Not by a long shot.
Because the next two Colts you're going to see in action need no introduction. Let's just sit back and look. Will you roll the film, please?
Here's a fine close-up look at number 89. Watch him as he moves one way, and now pops back into the hole to stop Detroit fullback Petrosati dead in his tracks.
Here he comes from the left against Green Bay. And does he pulverize Bart Starr? Look, Chuck, Jim Taylor wants the ball.
I think Mr. Taylor changed his mind, wouldn't you?
And finally, against the Lions, again number 89 comes charging through to blitz Detroit quarterback Jim Nanowski. Ooh, that must still hurt.
And there he is, everybody's all-pro for the last 6 years, Gino the Giant Marchetti.
The final gentleman in our 1961 Colt defensive parade is the smiling Irishman. The man who means Baltimore Colt football to every football fan in the United States. Number 70.
Against the St. Louis Cardinals at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium, Sam Echeverry, the Cardinal quarterback, tries to pass, but number 70 booms through.
Same game. Echeverry on the draw to fullback Frank Mesnick. There's that 70 again. Goodbye, Mesnick. Number 70, Mr. Baltimore Colt, Arthur Donovan.
What a job that defensive team did game after game. And after seeing those great defensive plays, it's understandable why the Colts led the entire National Football League in defensive football, limiting all opponents to a total of only 3,782 yards during the 1961 season.
Yes, Chuck, a season that saw an inspired football team, the Green Bay Packers, win the World Championship. Another great season for the National Football League. The Colts in '62, Well, we all hope that the strong finish they had in 1961 will mean that they'll go all the way in 1962.
The 1961 Baltimore Colts has been another National Beer sports presentation. Brought to you by National Beer and your neighborhood National Beer dealer.